Hey everyone. Alright, so I have an update. As you can see, there's a new area in the dark base. This is kind of part of the whole prospect of like kind of spreading things out a little bit more and making the encounters a little bit less condensed. Although I still do want to have condensed areas where there's just lots of fighting, which is still the case for this area back here and pretty much both floors and this back part. But yeah, of course. I mean, there's a battle sequence here. It's going to be an interesting balance, honestly, to kind of have more empty areas and things of that nature. So one of the things that I did while I was trying to, while I was going on the prospect of having more empty spaces or empty-ish spaces, empty feeling spaces, is I went through and did a larger variety of loot containers that contain more specialized things. Like this is just a pistol ammo case, and like there's pickups just kind of sprinkled around. And I think by the end of the week, I'm probably gonna have like a few unique pickups, a few new ones that are like the blueprints. So if you search every nook and cranny of these areas, you'll get unique stuff, a la Dark Souls, I guess. But but not just Dark Souls. Actually, I'm not doing it because of Dark Souls. I'm doing it because that was a really good game design decision on their part. Having unique items gives you a real true reason to want to collect them all. So with that said, I might make it so that you don't drop blueprints when you die. That would probably be a good idea. In fact, I'll go ahead and write that down. Let's see. What else? So, I also greatly increased how many credits you get. I reduced the costs of, um, I reduced the costs of crafting in general. So it's a little bit easier to kind of get into it. It's still a bit steep because you don't really have anything to craft at an early level. Like, uh, I wanna have the player make something, like be given an item at the start of, like when you first find the fabricator, to like be able to craft something with it. So so this area is really very moody, dark. Like this section right here would be dark, and there'd be like a light flickering kind of like onto these pillars, and you know, player would probably be a little bit paranoid, and you'd kind of come up and uh, you'd see like there's a way up here, there's loot over there, there's a zombie here, and then you look down and over, and like these are like large boxes, but they can also just be like barrels. Those big like things of barrels that are like all together. And art-wise, this is like a a vehicle of some sort, maybe a crane. That's one of the things too. Like with art ends up filling out these areas a lot more than you might be prepared for. Like uh, what I'm doing right now is essentially just hinting at the shapes of the area, and art usually goes to town with it. Uh, that's usually how it goes. But so I pick up a couple of items up there, and then I get back onto the regular path. I kind of come out, and there's a little bit of a funnel, and there's a large tower that's sort of visible even from all the way back here. You'll see that there's like this large tower thingy. Could be like smoke coming out of the top of it and shit. But anyway, like uh you come into this central spot, and it kind of looks like there's another vehicle, like a truck or something like that, and like there's more like stuff just sort of strewn about. It looks like hell kind of fucking froze over and there was a lot of fighting, and maybe even dead bodies and shit out here. I don't know. Then and then that's sort of the entrance over there, and like this is a gate that's broken. You'll never be able to open it up, but you know it shows you that there's another entrance into this space, and you kind of ended up taking sort of a side path. So you go a little bit further through, like, so that's one of the other things too. You get a pretty good sense of like, you should get a pretty good sense of like the scale of this place, and that this area is where I'm going next. But there's one more section over here that if you continue forward, there's an imp up on this side. A zombie on that side. And this area is meant to be more atmospheric, more, you know, there's less combat, there's more sort of looking around and finding stuff. So I did put rockets here. Uh, the ammo distribution is a lot different now. Instead of just like dumping lots and lots of different types of ammo on you, uh, you might even want to memorize where the ammo spawns are. But ammo seems to be very plentiful. So you go through here. You open this up. Now you might recognize this area. Now this is now the front entrance to the dark base, and you get your second. See, I already unlocked this because I. One of the things I like about working on this project is that I actually have like a character, and I'm playing the game. Like when I'm playtesting, I'm just playing the game. Like it saves all my stuff, and you know, like this save game keeps everything, and it's kind of like in Fallout 4 when I'm modding the game. I'm usually like Skyrim or Fallout. Like I'm usually playing the game while I'm modding it, and I'll be like, oh, I found a bug, and then like spend the rest of the night fixing something or adding a new feature, and then I get back to just playing the game for a little while. And this has that exact same flow. And like that's so fucking cool. That is so fucking cool. Anyway, I should just put some kind of screenshot. These are supposed to be basically screenshots of whatever the environment is. And I know the aspect ratios are different. I'll have to figure that out. But uh, like if you select Sanctuary, you should see a screenshot that shows Sanctuary in a recognizable way. Now I'm a little worried about this, but I'm not. I have to kind of see, but I have a feeling that a lot of players are gonna channel this, see this, and then kind of forget about it, and then they're gonna run forward and go out the door rather than like try to move, and they're gonna kind of get lost. I'm a little worried about that. I think actually that's yeah, I think that's actually something that's going to happen because a lot of people don't have the memory to remember that there's other way to go over here. And when you do this, it causes a moment where you get kind of distracted. You're like, oh, cool. Okay, I got this. All right. Now I'm just going to go to the next area, you know, and it's the place you were just at. Like, I have a feeling that's going to happen to a lot of players. Um, uh, oh man, that sucks, actually. It's such like a cool spot to put that too though because when you come in like uh you'll see the light, there'll be like light coming up, and like you know there's some kind of recognizable graphic for the way that the home points actually look, and it's so prominent, like there it is, there's a home point right there, like I really like that, but I'm so fucking torn by the fact that most players are probably just gonna run back out that door because that's where it's facing them. Uh, what am I gonna do? Ultimately, you just don't want people to get lost. Getting lost sucks. I might have to just put this in the middle of the room again or something like that. It was kind of cool off to the side here. I mean, if it's off to the side, then people kind of like, oh, or is there, I was already here. Then they might go this way or something. Damn it. I'll have to figure this out. maybe if uh maybe if I put doors here, that'll give the player something to remember. Because right now it's just sort of, it might as well just be an empty space back there, right? Like when people don't recognize something, there's like a blank space in their mind. It's not like a, hey, I saw something and I didn't recognize it. It's more like a, I don't remember anything about what I just saw. Like it's sort of it's a null. It's not you know, something you can explain. Anyway, so you go through and then I reduced the combat in this area a lot because I'm still kind of like ramping things up, but things end up ramping up a little bit, a lot more in the next area. But at this point, I kind of want that a little bit because I do want the game to be pretty combat heavy in general, but I could definitely see value in having spaces where there's less combat. So like there's definitely a lot of value to having like places where it's just like super intense fighting and then yeah, and then just lulls and finding loot and kind of doing stuff like this. I got a submachine gun. Submachine guns not quite as effective as the assault rifle. Kills things a little bit faster though, that's for sure. SMG has more DPS. Sniper ammo, battery. See how there's like a greater variety of ammo. I don't know. I might do something where if the container only has, well, no, that's right. I already kind of went over that before. I'm kind of torn on that design as well because I want to have a limitation on how much you can carry. So making it so that you automatically pick stuff up is kind of directly conflicts with that. Hey, gloves. Regular body armor. I haven't like gone through all my shit. Like level 3 worn boots. Regular boots are gonna be better than worn boots. I should probably make the worn armor a little bit better. Or at least provide some tier between the two. Reinforced. Really good. And I was gonna do something too where leveling is a little bit more evened out because you level up rather quickly. It's a little obvious fairly early on that, whoa, no, I need the assault rifle. It's a little obvious early on that you're not gonna be able to, like, you're gonna hit the the level cap ish. It's not really a level cap, but like after you're 2 levels above the monster's level, the monster no longer provides experience points. And I'm thinking of making it so that you have to kill a little bit more to gain a level, and at the same time, you still gain like a tiny little bit of XP from monsters. Like there's a minimum threshold, kind of like with damage. Anyway, I am going to do a response video for some of the feedback I've gotten. I'll do that as a separate video because this video is already pretty long, and I think that covers pretty much everything, except for one thing. The next thing that I'm going to be doing, I'm actually running back to a save because I want to save my shit. I'm actually able to have fun with my own game. Yeah, if you don't go to a home point, your shit won't get saved, so keep that in mind before you close it out if you want to save your progress. That'll matter a little bit more in later builds, but now right now I can exit. Um, so that pretty much covered this area, but I'm gonna have another lull area over here, and then this lull area is going to become a combat area later on, and I'm gonna go into all that. But basically, the next area, like after you do this battle, it unlocks this, right? And then I'm going to have number 3 symbol and a courtyard out here, which then leads to stairs up here, right? And then a side entrance or some sort is going to be here. I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna do that yet though, but I'm gonna try to figure it out. Like maybe I might have to rebuild this section a little bit so I can have an entrance up here, and you come up here, and then there's like a bridge that goes across, and then this is like a roof section, and you can do more fighting, and then that takes you to an area back here, which is most likely going to be kind of mazy and a little bit like E1M2 and Doom 2, where you get to that secret space, that back area where it's kind of like a kind of computer area with dark lighting and a little bit moody. And there will be an entrance that's also number 3 over here. So like you'll see the doorway on this side the first time you come through here, but you won't be able to open it, and it'll have a number 3. And that's like way later in the game. And people will be able to like open up the door and like kill like shit that's like 2 or 3 levels below them now. And you'll be able to just like raffle stomp them. And hopefully this is a recognizable space where players will be able to go, oh, okay, this just leads back. It's just a shortcut from this home point over here. So like you can go up this way, and now you can kind of continue on. And I know this area is fairly decent in size, and then kind of comes out into this big courtyard, and this area is where the boss fight is. And yeah, like if you know what you're doing, you can actually get to the boss fight area early, and you can kind of do things a little bit out of order, which is a little bit dangerous because I do block some spaces off, so I'll have to be careful how I do that exactly. But yeah, so there's a big like fancy cool space like here that's all open up, and then the entrance to the next level, to the next area is here. And yeah, that's pretty much the plan. So I gotta build that out. I'm gonna try and get it all blocked out with enemy and item placement in place, and I want to then from there I want to do the boss fight. I don't know how long the boss fight will take to do, but I kind of have some ideas on like what I want to do with the boss fight. So I'm having deja vu for some reason. Well, go figure. I don't think I've done anything quite like this. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to end this now, and I'll do a video going over the feedback in a little bit. I'll have that uploaded as well. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more, and